offensive, I guess, or something out of line. I don't know how he would rate what's offensive to some people, but it's good characters and part of the company. So I definitely understand him feeling he wants the best characters, characteristics of a person, and on the cameras. Not only are you representing in front of your adult audience, but you're also, more importantly, representing yourself from the younger audience. That's even much more important. Now, why do I say that for? A lot of people don't agree with what I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it anyways, because a lot of people don't believe in this. You are a role model, period, ending. And a lot of people don't agree with that. Obviously, a lot of people I've talked to, but people are like, oh, they're not role models. Yes, they are. Those kids, those young people, look at these people as a role model. That's their heroes. That's the people they look up to. That's the ones that, hey, I can be a pro football player, baseball player, whatever it is you do. So so I understand what he's saying there. I can go along with that. You want that best characteristics out there.
Okay, for Vince McMahon, I think it's far-reaching to try and have him call somebody else not a role model, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Really, it is. If you're looking at it, now you're looking at someone who's behind the desk. Vince McMahon talking about that, or you're talking about, obviously, I'm sure you're not talking about the TV character, Mr. McMahon, right?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna talk about football players, have to be the best representation. Representation is typically on TV. That's where people see everybody.
Yeah.
And you have the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Yeah, Vince McMahon, several stories about him being a fucking bully, and things like that. So I think it's far and away from Vince's character to try and claim somebody else is not a good role model, much less the people that he associates with in his private life. So,
private life, if it's behind closed doors, no cameras on it. I mean, literally no cameras. He's behind closed door to his house. Can't do anything about that. That's.
Well, he's openly supported somebody that he's friends with. Let's leave it at that.
That's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm just more or less talking when you have an athlete that's there doing interviews and out and they're out in town at dinner. You want them to be the best representation possible for that company. Now, when they're behind closed doors at home, no cameras on them. Obviously, you don't want them getting some serious trouble. Obviously, but what they do. What do they do behind closed doors? Can't necessarily have a whole lot of issues on that one. I mean, they're, what they do, whatever, on that part. Say they're having an affair. That's a personal life. Yeah, it's a bad representation, obviously. But I'm talking about more, beating somebody up at a bar. Beating somebody up at a bar. But as far as comparing it to the Kiss My Ass Club, you can't. I mean, you might do that, but I that's nothing. That's not even part of that.
No, I know it's a character. What I mean is, if he has an issue with certain players of certain character, and there's several stories, whether it be whether you want to talk about his character on TV or his character by wrestlers who have worked for him or people that have worked for him, he's not exactly the greatest character person.
Oh, as far as what I'm saying. As far as the business goes behind the desk, how he conducts between his wrestlers, that's business. I mean, do I agree with everything that I've heard that him do for the business? I'm going by what I hear. No, I'm not saying I do agree with that. That's business. I mean, he has that's what he does behind his desk, conducting of this company. Different. That's totally different, by far. Comparing his character on TV being what he does on TV, that's different there too. He's playing a character on TV of an entertainment TV show. It's like basically saying somebody who murders somebody on a TV show shouldn't be, I don't know, on a Tonight Show, I guess, or I don't know what he's on. Someone shoots somebody on a movie shouldn't be, I don't know. It's I said on Night Show. I don't know what you want to compare it to. I mean, you wouldn't see Hannibal Lecter on probably a Disney Channel anytime soon. Difference in that, but part of Disney. But as far as character, you don't hear Vince beating somebody up in a bar, or you don't see him murdering somebody, or you don't hear him, that's what I'm more or less saying.
Oh, man, that would be a great parody that Vince McMahon in his private life just kills people.
That'd be crazy, but it's just what I'm getting at. It's not so much what he's behind a desk. I mean, that's business. I mean, whether you agree with the business part of it or not, that's one thing. But as far as you don't hear Vince doing anything, I mean, that's just he stays busy working all the time. So I mean, there's nothing really other than basically he's friends with. That's his. That's whatever. But there's nothing on Vince. I mean, they want to say, oh, he did this for business. Yeah, he just does some dirty business in the past, as far as contracts, I'm sure. But I said, I'm not trying to make it sound like I support everything he's done. Believe me, they're saying there's been a story angle on there before that I almost quit watching WWE years ago, and it took a while. I guess he probably can figure that one out. Maybe he can, but more or less, I said characteristics as far as the athletes go. I understand. That's all I can say.
I got you. It's just a difference of opinion on a certain level. Because I'm not saying that people aren't role models in that extent. It's just depending upon what you're talking about as their character. And I think it's hilarious that somebody like Vince McMahon is like, oh, they don't have a good character.
Well, I mean, if you're basing off his character, he's basically
no, not completely. I'm talking about the stories that came out with how he treated women that worked for him, the way he treated other wrestlers, the pettiness that he's expressed, the openly lying in court that he wasn't giving people steroids when he was, things like that.
Yeah, I understand me. Only else I can say in the best possible
it's the
way.
pot calling the kettle black, essentially.
I get that, but I guess you can say lessons learned grew from that. I'm not saying I condone those things. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's just it's a man grew. I mean, I don't know I can't tell you what exactly he's like in my own experience behind closed doors. I can't tell you that. We hear about a bunch of stuff, but it's like when we go to our day jobs, do we, not like what our bosses are saying or what us getting a raise or enough money? No, it's there's things the court has done. Like, yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm not disagreeing with all that stuff. I'm not covering that up. I'm not saying that it's the right. I'm just saying, looking at the type of trouble that a lot of athletes get into and things they say, and I get that. So I said I'm not agreeing with everything he's done. I'm not, definitely not. But I say he's not out there hurting people, and as far as him having affairs or fooling around or bullying women or whatever it is, I haven't seen anything. So.
Well, I get you. I get you haven't seen anything directly. I'm just saying.
Oh, I get you. Now, yeah, of course, if there's people going to say, well, he did this with Tori Wilson back in 2001 or two. I'm like, that's TV. Now, I don't know what happened behind off cameras. I can't answer that. We can go by hearsay, by whatever. Oh, he flirts. A lot of guys flirt. I just don't know. I don't know what else. I get what you feel about him, but I would say once again, I have never agreed with everything he's done. But I can understand him wanting the best representation for the company. So we'll leave it at that.
Right. I'm just, again. And it's kind of like with Randy Orton, because, like, Randy in the last decade has been completely different from when he first signed. And that I believe, like, his personal character outside the ring is way better than I know his character inside the ring is.
Oh, he was an asshole. He's done. Randy's said it himself. He's not so much an asshole now, what I understand, for a long time, but he was too mature when he was younger. He about ran out of chances for having a job there at WWE. So, and I understand that, things that we talked about, he's pulled. Probably, obviously it's hard to get rid of somebody that's a star, but at the same time, I look at that differently. It's that sometimes you got to let go of some things to rebuild later on at a later date. like they did with I think they did with Shawn Michaels. They fired him before he became a star, big star, and had grown up to do. They did that with a few people, but they chose not to let go of Randy Orton. So I don't know every detail. Vince thought in his mind, why not? But he felt like it was a bad choice to get rid of him and bring him back at a later time. So
yeah, and with Randy, and I saw this a couple days ago. Apparently, Vince didn't even really want to hire him because he was the problem child, getting discharged from the Marines and everything. And JR had to sell him, like, you got a second chance. Give this kid a second chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it worked out for him.
Oh, yeah.
Anything outside of WWE? I mean, there's a few things with AEW. I guess one of them is that Cody's upset that Brody Lee's career was cut short, and realistically, the only thing he's ever done with AEW, well, let me rephrase that. With AEW, he's only stayed inside of Daly's place. He never got to go inside packed arenas, like they originally planned with his Rochester match and things like that. And he didn't really live up. Not necessarily he didn't live up to the expectation, but Cody feels that AEW did not provide the expectation that Cody wanted to give Brody Lee.
Yeah, I understand that. Unfortunately, unfortunately, if I said it right. With the way things are in the world, I'm talking about with the pandemic. To specify that, it didn't pan out that way, unfortunately, and more unfortunately, his life was cut short. So yeah, it's unfortunate he never had those moments you're talking about, and couldn't have that bigger expectation, or those goals. Best way to say it. To do what in the long run that should have been done, but we live in that time frame right now. That's unfortunate, but yeah, I wish he would have been able. Wish he would have been able to live obviously a long life to have that. But yeah, I understand. I know Cody saw it recently. In some ways, he hated having his last match. But I think it was more circumstances more than anything else, from what I understand. But he's also honored he had his last match too.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. And
absolutely.
Cody talked more about Brody Lee. And you remember that match that they have with the TNT title where Brody Lee just demolished and ran through? Apparently that was Cody's idea, and it was because he saw the match, I think it was Vader and Inoki or something like that in Japan, and that Vader, because he was a mobile big guy and Brody Lee's a mobile big guy, he wanted to duplicate it there. And he's like, well, if this guy's super big and he's mobile, he should be able to catch me off guard and things like that. So I guess he went to Brody Lee and he goes, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do. And he, I guess Brody Lee laughed it off. He goes, no, I'm serious. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to do flurry punches. You just destroy me the rest of the match. And I guess it caught Brody Lee off guard, which honestly, it kind of came out of nowhere. But in retrospect, I think it was the best thing they could have done for Cody to be written off TV.
Oh yeah, I think that there was good planning and good booking. Honestly, it was obviously surprising for everybody. I think it was a good booking. Cody has a great mind on him. I mean, he's got a lot of his dad in him, and I don't know, exactly what everything Dusty booked. I didn't. Never spoke to him, in the past about his booking and his mind, but beyond what we've seen and definitely what we've heard over a number of years, even before he passed away, we can see that and Cody has that mind, and he's growing his mind. He's learning more, and that's what's helping him out being in this management position. It's only going to get better. And I think with his mind and with the being president or EVP, whatever, I think it's only going to get better. And I don't know what all the guys, as far as Cody and the Young Bucks and the Omega, I don't know who, says what about what angle, what not, but I would have to, in my own belief, I guess, and maybe I'm being crazy talking